Hello again, everybody. It's Harry Boxer, the technical trader at TechTrader.com. It's Tuesday, the 10th of April. These are the charts of the day. Well, it was another wild and woolly day, mostly to the upside on Wall Street. We did have a couple of dips during the day that held support, but there's a lot of stocks, both long and short, that performed. Let's take a look at mostly on the long side. ABEO, which has been consolidating since the big run up in September, October, and then took a dip and formed a right-handed extended V right here. Broke out yesterday. Follow through today, but I'm going to be watching closely. Can I just get through 19? If it does, we're looking at 22.3, 25, maybe 28.9. Down the road, this could be a big one. Volume is picking up. Keep an eye on this one. ATRA, falling wedge with a pop today, jumping 395 or 11%. Nearly a million traded, the best in about 2 weeks. It looks like it's going to make a run at that 45.50 zone. That's my target. Bold. Biotech's doing great. You can see that the first 3 or 4 we look at are going to be bios, not to mention more than half of what we are reviewing tonight. Bold had come down in a very orderly fashion. It's a double top, 1, 2, 3, and then pop back up. So we're going to be watching resistance at 36 3/4. If we get to that, it's a $41 stock and maybe much more. Good day for Clovis, up 230, 229. You can see kind of an engulfing day. Anytime you get an engulfing bar, it's usually bullish. Keep an eye closely on 63 1/4 resistance. We get through that, we could be looking at 68 pretty quickly. The declining tops line maybe just pierced slightly today, but with that engulfing bar, I'm optimistic. In the oil sector, with prices moving up, one of our favorites, CRC, recovered dramatically. You remember back in November, we put a swing on it and really worked out well from the 13, 14 range all the way up into the mid-20s, so doubled in here, and then came down hard in a 3-wave corrected. In reviewing the overall angle of the ascent, this is going to have to be the new trend line. And what I'm looking at on a longer term basis on CRC would be this. But for now, the break across the declining top line and moving averages, and then a little mini wedge broke it out today. And it closed right about at the key resistance level. So this follows through. We have a run potentially to 21.45 and then all the way up there towards 23. So 21.5, 23, 25, 5.5, those are my targets going forward, and we'll see what happens with that one. Etsy, doing very well, breaking out of the flag today, popping 230 or 8.3%. You can see how that breakaway move maybe a heads up from move to 35. So there might be about 5 points in this one coming up. Intelsat just exploding off that pullback low when it got down about 3.5, currently a 6.5 range, and you can see after being up for 6 days in a row, this might be extended. Although if the momentum carries it forward, the highs in October at around 740 might be tested. Beyond that, looking at the longer term pattern, if this is a big basis, might very well get into the 10-12 range. ICPT forming a nice basin here, broke out and tested the gap, or I should say the last spike high in October. That was about 75.80. Today's high, 75.90. So we get through here, this might explode. There's not a lot of resistance on this one, all the way through about 85. So keep a close tab on this one, because the next day or two, this could really run for another 8 to 10 points. Junior semiconductor IOTS broke out today, got right up to the highs from the October-November period, and this is going to be a test. We get through that one, I'm looking for a run into the mid-teens, maybe 12-13 range. LABU, as a function of all the biotechs moving today, the LABU broke its downtrend with a pop after a breakaway on a run of $8.61 at 12%. Resistance, this is something to keep in mind tomorrow, about 83. That's resistance. We get through that, looking at 90, 91. So keep an eye on that. If we break through 83, that can run tomorrow. QURE. Yesterday I highlighted it as it broke out of the wedge. Today it followed through and is testing the highs. 27.19 was the high 6-7 weeks ago, and today 27.10. We get through that zone, 31 and 35 are my targets. REGENXBIO with the big deal yesterday and then the pullback, and notice how it held the prior highs, and today reversed it and went straight up. I would not be shocked to see this one make a run at the 40-41 range. It might get as high as 42 in that area, near term. SPPI exploded on major drug news, big weight gap, strong close, fill the gap here, looking for a move to 23 and then eventually 29. What a nice move from Tandem Diabetes, TNDM. After breaking out of here, we put that out in the, I think, 4.25.5 range. Subsequently has nearly doubled just in 2 weeks, and today hit 722. I believe after hours it traded even higher than that, up towards 740. It's met both of my swing targets, and it's at the top of the channel, so I would expect it to pull back. But if this is purely a momentum play, we may see 8.5, 8.75. Urogen broke out a week ago. It's been flagging. I think if it gets through today's high at 60.5, 63, we can see something in the mid-70s. Oil's moving sharply. The UWT's moving. You can see today a pop with a breakaway gap up 320 or 11.5%. Solid volume, 3.5 million. We get out of this pattern, this can run into the mid-30s. V-Cell, Paracel had a nice pop 3 days ago, flagged for 3 days, and then boom, today it popped again, another $1.20 or 11%. Feels like this is the one's going to go. Watch the March high at about 12.80. If we get through that, we're looking at a $15 stock. VKTX, the declining top line was pierced slightly today, not with big volume. But if this gets up through this line here, above the $5 range, this can rip right to 6 or more. V-Ray, also falling wedge broken today, but resistance is going to be formidable at about the 740.50 range. We get through that, we can see a lot more upside. XNCR. Our swing on XNCR, it completed, I believe, a falling wedge today, something of that nature. There's the wedge. It popped out. It picked up some volume. It was up $1.78. If this thing continues or extends, what we'll be watching for is, can it take 31.5 out? If it does, 34.5, and then high 30s is my target. Just a couple bucks of shorts to show you. Tupperware got completely destroyed today, down 542 or almost 11.5%, and closed underneath support. Looking at a longer term chart, you can see that this has taken out lots of lows. And maybe at a place now where it completely falls apart hard and falls hard into that 36.7 zone. YY, massive reversal today. First, I move up, especially pre-market, getting all the way up to 105 and change, almost 106, dropping down into the 95 range before bouncing. Nevertheless, it looks negative. It's like a big bear wedge. It may have been broken today. If it takes out today's low, look for this stock to drop precipitously. There's another 10 or 15 points. And finally today, Tree, after forming a top and coming down, has got a distinct bear flag, and this one looks ugly. That's 322 now. I'm looking for 285 and 260. That's my next targets on that one. And folks, that's it for tonight. Have a good evening. Bye now.